Executive Committee at 5:30. But here we are, and we are ready to call this meeting to order. We do call this meeting to order, and we ask for a moment of prayer and silence. Okay, pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, adequate notice this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975. By advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times, and by posting a copy to the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call.
Councilman O'Carroll.
Here.
Councilwoman McKay.
Here.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Here.
Council President Tresvant.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
Here. Motion to come out of executive session.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Summary. Go.
Sorry. Council is in executive session for approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes. The topics of discussion, as listed on your agenda: number 1, interviews of the CFO; number 2, interviews of tax assessor; number 3, personnel appoint the judge; number 4, fire truck offer from Oxford; number 5, shared service Pohat Court; number 6, Lopatcong Athletic Association contract; number 7, harassment training, quantum services; number 8, employee handbook policy; number 9, social media matter; number 11, contracts and banks; numbers 10, 12, and 13. I guess number 10 was technically discussed briefly. However, 10, 12, and 13 will be moved to next meeting as they were not reached tonight. The minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Okay, thank you. Motion to open to public comment for agenda items only.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. You are now open. Anyone who wants to come up and speak with respect to those matters which are on the agenda? Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Mayor. For the record, my name is Mark Peck. I'm an attorney with the Florio Carucci Law Firm. I represent Stad GI New Jersey, which is number 4 on your new business agenda. I just wanted to let you know that I'm here if you have any questions. I did send a letter dated December 22 to the council. I realize that what we're requesting is sort of unorthodox. Usually you get the approval first and then the developer's agreement is prepared. But Stad, which is the property owner for the Berry Plastic site, they're on a very tight construction schedule. So we're hoping that we can have the developer's agreement prepared and ready to be executed if and when we get the approval granted in January. So Berry can stay here in Lopatcong as an employer and a rateable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peck.
Mayor and Council, Joe Bauman with Opus Investments Limited Liability Company. I just wanted to make you aware that I'm here. Dan Gorell and Ern Murphy are also here if you have questions when it comes to the redevelopment plan and the redevelopment agreement on the agenda. We're happy to be back and look forward to a successful evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Hello, Beth. Olszewski, Harlan's Way. Quick question, Mr. Mayor. Number 9, executive session. Not sure why that is an executive session item. Doesn't look like it.
It says related to personnel.
Okay. There's a second reading today for the this ordinance for the Recreation Committee. Would appreciate if you one more time explain to me and the residents why the residents have to spend money for the resolution, because I don't still understand what that is for. And the gentleman who just came by here for, what is it, GTI? I know nothing about it. Would you be so kind and explain to the residents what that is all about? Thank you.
Okay. Those explanations will come up as we go into those items, I think.
Okay.
So it should be sufficient for what you're asking.
Okay.
Okay, I don't see or hear any other questions, so Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we'll run right into old business. First item is to approve the minutes of the executive session and the regular session for October 7th with edits, October 21st, November 12th, and December 2nd. I don't think we've got the November 12th minutes. I don't think they were sent out. I didn't get them. Anybody else get them?
Yeah, I don't believe so. Did I miss it? Did we get the November 12th minutes email?
I thought I sent you all six, but you can approve the others and all that if you like.
Yeah, it was October 7, 21, and December. I kept trying to recheck, see if I
It's
missed
probably
it.
just an oversight, but it didn't come out.
So we'll put the table.
Okay.
Yes. With respect to October 7th, there was an edit. It's on, these don't have pages, but it has to do, I'll just give you the word that's in error, the word clerical. I speak about empirical data, and instead of empirical, the word clerical was used, which has an entirely different meaning. So if we could look for the word clerical and change it to empirical, that would make me happy, because that would make sense. It'll take you too long to look now.
Is that in addition to the ones that you had? I don't see that mark.
Yes, I realized it when I got the new copy. Okay, so other than that edit, we could approve the minutes, I guess, meeting by meeting, because November 12th isn't, we don't have that. Take November 12th out, we could do that. All right, so we'll do that. We'll take November 12th out, and I'll look for a motion to approve the other three minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Del Caro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay? Yes. Councilwoman Schneider?
No.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor.
If we're going to do them all together now. Ordinance number 2 here. Ordinance
What was
number.
your vote?
No.
Oh, it was no, okay.
Ordinance number 2015-14. This is the second and public hearing to amend, revise, and supplement the code of the Township of Lopatcong to make revisions to the requirements outlined in Chapter 53 entitled the Recreation Committee. Now, I'd like to ask Mrs. Chesler, because she's the one who wanted to do this. Who was it?
I discussed it.
Oh, you discussed it. The way this was, and had been, I think, since the beginning of Lopatcong, at least since that type of an ordinance was in play. What happened here was the mayor appointed the members and the mayor appointed the chair. Is that correct?
That's what we have. It
That's
was
what we have now.
the mayor.
And you wish to change that for what
To-
purpose?
The governing body.
To the governing body appointing the members and the chair.
The committee will appoint the chair.
So you want to change it two different ways. All
Well,
right,
there's
now,
two different paragraphs that we want.
yes, I understand. I think you've made it clear. Now, what is the reason that you want to take up all our time and effort to do
It
this?
doesn't take a lot of time or effort. We need to make sure that these types of appointments aren't used for political purposes, as they have been and will be, and it's time to let the governing body make the decisions.
Okay,
That's
now you
why.
say these appointments have been used for political purposes. Who is presently the chair on that committee?
Presently, the chairman of REC.
Yeah.
Is it, I don't know. I didn't know if we have a chair. I'm not
Well,
sure
if you look on the website, it says it's Mrs. Chesler. So if that's political, I don't know. I don't think it was political.
But that's not the point of the change. The change
I
is
think
we
the
want-
point was that a council member has to sit on it according to the ordinance right now.
And according to the revised ordinance, the
No.
councilperson has to sit on it.
No, it doesn't.
That was removed.
That was removed. The one point I saw that. That's it.
In the last version, it had strike through showing you what was removed. So
Yeah.
you could see it. That was removed.
So you don't want someone from the council sitting on
It
it?
doesn't have to be. It can be. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I really don't, I wasn't here when all these resolutions were put in play, but I imagine they were done so as to have an appropriate balance between the executive and the legislative branches of the township government. And that's why, mayors did some things and councils did some things. But you seem to wish to make it entirely council. And,
Put to vote
what?
and put to a vote.
Well, it always was. It was. Previously, it was mayoral appointment, but I think the council had a consent. So the council had the vote there all along.
That was the change in paragraph A to add the governing body and take out the mayor with consent of council. That was paragraph A.
So you're seeking to change the balance of executive versus legislative on the council. You've done this with other committees. We've tried to do it in the past. I just want to be clear so that we have a clear record of why it's being done. Is that your reason?
The reason is we want to have the governing body make the decision. That's the reason.
So you want to change the balance.
Change it so that the governing body can make the decision.
We do make the decision.
You have the-
If we say no, it doesn't, that person doesn't get appointed. So it's really a moot point to do this and to
No, it's
spend
not a moot
taxpayer
point.
money.
We're taking out the mayor.
Right. Are there any other ordinances have you guys looked at that you want to take out the mayor?
Oh,
I'm sure there's probably all of them. We might as well just do them all at one time.
And you just said this isn't political. In fact, it is very political. What you're trying to do is take the mayor out of the equation. But that, if that's what you're going to do,
I think the biggest change, as Maureen has already said, is that one of you had to sit on the committee as the ordinance stood.
Right.
Now you can if you want to, but you don't have to.
Right.
and it was probably a good thing to have somebody on council as liaison to that committee so council knows what's going on in that committee.
You should have a liaison to every single commission,
You still
committee,
can.
board, and you
Right,
still
but you
can.
need
don't
to
have
change
to.
this.
We're not changing
You don't
Yeah, you
have
don't
to be
have
a
So
member,
then
an
change-
active working member.
So then why don't you just change that part if that's the part that you
Or
really
you
want
want to change the other parts.
We changed,
Yeah.
what we discussed last meeting and agreed on and voted on was the changes. Paragraphs A, paragraph B. That was it.
I'm setting, getting a better clarity so that for the record, we know why this happened.
We know why.
Go to a vote, please.
No, you have to-
What?
It's a public hearing.
Oh, this is public
Motion
comment.
to open to public hearing.
Sir,
Do we have a second?
Was there a second on the motion?
Second,
number's on it, right?
All in favor?
aye.
I have to ask one more time because I understand we're spending money on this, right? Do we know how much?
How much,
$80?
how many hours has Katrina spent on it?
I
didn't
didn't
spend anything.
I know, but you haven't.
I mean, if it is my understanding that it was mayor appointed with council consent, as far as I understand it, the council always had the power more or less to say no to any appointment made. I'm not
It's not the
sure,
major reason for the change.
I-
It had to be a council person
So
that
if that's
sits
not a
on the
major
committee as
reason,
a
why change
member.
it?
what would be the downside of
Nobody
having?
wanted to be on it. So
Well,
this way you could be on it now in that place instead of a council member.
Well, how do you know no one wanted to be on it?
Everybody I asked.
I would
Well,
appreciate
You didn't ask
if,
me, just, Donna.
Do you want to be on it? Do you want to run
Nobody
it today?
asked. It's.
I think you do.
Go for it. You can have it.
I would appreciate if you guys are spending the taxpayers' money, our money, that it actually benefits the public in some way or another. I do not see how a motion like that would benefit the public, and that's what you guys are supposed to be here for the public,
Okay.
right? And expending the taxpayers' money without really having a benefit from it, I'm not sure that is, at this time where money is tied to white decision. I
The
don't think
benefit
so.
is that you can take that seat. It doesn't have to be a member of council. If they want it to be, it can, but it doesn't have to be. That's the benefit to the public.
Mr. Steinhardt, you wish to come up?
As a member of the public, I want to thank council for taking a position that would take a seat that was otherwise previously dedicated to a council member and making it available to everybody else. So all of us residents could have yet another representative voice. It makes perfect sense to me. The fact that you might have tied up other things with it, I understand what you're doing as a means of stringing together other amendments to an otherwise seems a laudable change to me. As I said, as a resident, I certainly support making as many boards and commissions available for residents to sit on as opposed to elected council members. So it certainly makes sense. And in terms of the $80, I mean, it took you guys 10 minutes just to figure out what to do with the minutes. I don't know, but if you divide that by how much you're paying Katrina, it seems to me kind of silly that you wasted that much time just talking about minutes until you didn't vote on it. You would have voted no anyway. Which strikes me like if you had spent another 10 minutes and voted on them independently, if you would have voted yes, we've spent another $80 still fighting over the minutes. So as a resident who's spent probably, what, $30 or $40 sitting here listening to you debate this, I would hope maybe you could call it and take a vote. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other pearls of wisdom from the audience? Okay. Then we'll close down the public comment. What? I'm not going to get. So motion to close down the public comment on this matter.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We
now-
gotta say roll call for it.
No, that was to close the public.
Okay,
Public building.
okay. Now motion to adopt.
All right. Yeah. A motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second. Okay. Roll call.
Councilman Del Caro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Abstain.
Council President Chesney.
Yes.
Mayor Michael.
Abstain. Okay. Ordinance number 2015-15, second reading and public hearing to adopt, amend, and, adopt the amended and restated development plan for the former Ingersoll Rand property commonly known as Block 100, Lot 1, and Block 101, Lot 1 on the tax map of the township. Okay.
Open public comment.
Yep, we have to open the public comment.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
It's open for public comment. Any comments?
Mayor, I do have a question.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll ask it now, or I'll wait till you finish one of your items, but since you're collecting a record for that last one, number 2, may I ask what the reason for the abstention is? You guys both abstained rather than vote yes or no. I'm curious what the basis for the abstention was.
Abstention? I don't see the reason for it, and I wasn't given adequate reason. So maybe, down the road, I'll get better reasons. I
So
think,
you're abstaining as opposed to voting no.
yeah.
I'll answer because I'm not opposed to opening up the seat to another resident in the township. I am opposed to the changes for sake of political reasons. So I agree with some of it, but not all of it. So I didn't want to say no to the entire thing.
Okay, we're in the Ingersoll Rand matter. Any more questions? Any more comments? No? Okay. Motion to close public comment?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now,
Okay. Now, in this matter,
Motion to adopt.
what?
you have to make a motion to adopt, then we can have discussion.
All right, motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
All right.
Wait, I think he wanted the discussion.
Yeah, I want a discussion, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what we had asked for, I think I wrote an email to your office about this matter, that to be certain that all the professionals had weighed in and got back to Lavery, and he's telling us that everything is fine in this matter. So we're not attorneys and we're not developers, so we don't know.
Your planner was here last meeting,
Right.
he wrote it.
Right,
and
but
Mr.
there were,
Serpent's
yeah,
also-
there were some changes, so it's all been, it's okay, that's all I want to
I
know.
mean, you can ask Paul, all the changes were made to the redevelopment. plan you can ask for.
Yeah, just for the record, I worked with Mr. Ritter in putting together the plan. He considered my input and incorporated my input into the redevelopment plan that you're reviewing tonight. And I'm satisfied with the redevelopment plan that he prepared through all those efforts.
Okay.
I also note that the planning board reviewed this last week and
Mhm.
made a positive finding on the plan at the meeting.
There were 3 small typographical changes that you
Mhm.
asked me to make, which I made the next morning and
Mhm.
sent to all of you.
Right.
You had it.
Thank you.
Okay. So now do your roll call.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Mikel.
Yes. All right, number 4, authorize release of cash portion of performance guarantee held on coordinated health, block 85, lots 5 and 502, in the amount of $93,321.60 as recommended by Engineer Sturbins and approved at the November 12th council meeting.
Yes, just Christine, our temporary CFO, asked that we actually put the amount of money on the agenda again for release. The check is prepared tonight. It doesn't appear in the bills list, the total, okay, it's separate.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
discussion? Okay, roll call to
Need a
approve?
motion.
What? Motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Mikel.
Yes, you might as well do this.
Council had 2 items that are not on your agenda, but were on your executive session agenda, so we've decided to put them in here. First, if someone wants to make a motion to authorize Donna to make an offer to the CFO candidate, which was discussed in executive session, and if that person accepts that offer, the next meeting, a resolution will be done detailing the salary, the hours, and other job duties. So if someone wants to make that motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Mikel.
Yes.
Okay, and then the next, added number 6, is if someone wants to make a motion to authorize Donna to make an offer to the assessor candidate that was discussed in executive session, and if they accept, then a resolution will be drafted detailing their hours of employment and their salary, which will be on the agenda for next meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman
Roll call.
Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Mikel.
Yes. All right, we're moving into new business. Resolution 15149, authorizing execution of redevelopment agreement with Opus Investments Limited Liability Company relating to the redevelopment of property commonly known as Block 101, Lots 1 and 1.01 on the tax map of the township.
Before you go out to vote on that, I just have a couple of things for council. You were all given a hand-delivered memo from my office on November 12th with comments from Mr. Lavery, with a couple of recommendations for changes. You also received from Mr. Bauman's office, I think this week, a clean copy, which has actually already been executed by Opus in the hopes that you will accept it as is and they will be done. Unfortunately, we have 1 or 2 little typos. So what I just wanted to go over with you is Mr. Sturbins actually found on page 27 just 2 typographical things that he would like corrected, and that is in section 10.06. In the body of the paragraph, there is a reference to 11.07, and it actually should be 10.07. And then in subsection D of that same paragraph, one other place it says 11.06, and it should just be 10.06. No big deal, just a 1 crept in there where a 0 should be. The only other recommendation from our office is on page 31, the very last sentence.
What
or
section
half-
is that?
I'm sorry, that is section 12.01, subsection C. The very last sentence, halfway through it actually, where it says, "It shall not be an event of default as long as the defaulting property is proceeding with due diligence to remedy the same as soon as practicable." In Mr. Lavery's letter, he recommended that 1 sentence be struck. There's a period for curing, and he just thought this muddied that curing period a little bit. So it's his recommendation that that be taken out, but everything else, he thought, as long as you're you've read the memo he's provided you and have no questions or comments, he has nothing out, no other recommendations for changes. Just to let you know, since the last time you saw it, the copy you got on the 12th, the only changes that were made, other than removing some of the things that were in the letter that we didn't even tell Mr. Baumann, and he knew to remove some, since the first draft. Section 2.04, approval of the financial agreement, is different from when you saw it the first time, and also on page 20, section 7.02, section E, both dealing with the financial agreement. And basically all it says is that because you haven't executed that financial agreement, if you don't, then the developer can't go forward and therefore will terminate this agreement, and they will be allowed to terminate this agreement. So
Okay.
had you been doing that all at once, you've been approving all of them, they probably wouldn't have put that section in there, but as we've discussed, that financial agreement you want to take a closer look at. So this allows you to do this first, but not be obligated to do the financial, but knowing that if you don't do the financial agreement, or at least negotiate a financial agreement, that they have the opportunity to cancel the developer's agreement and get out.
Okay,
All right, now
that
that
makes sense.
financial agreement is now in Mr. Labor's hands.
I believe so. I know Mr. Drakewitz and Mr. Labor were
Yes.
working together, so I will double check, but,
All right.
so that's it.
Okay, so how do we proceed with the resolution to just take,
So
with,
as long as,
changes.
so the reason I said this before you made your motion is I would recommend that someone, this resolution with those 3 changes that I just suggested.
Okay.
And then you can.
okay,
Okay, so motion to approve 15-149 with your changes.
motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe? Yes. Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. All right, the Lopatcong Athletic Association contract. Yeah.
I would like to say thank you, everybody. It's my happy day. Thank you very much.
Do you want to do that one? Can you handle it? All right, as you know, the LAA is in the process of forming into a nonprofit organization. Part of what they want to do is they want to get things established properly. A lot of other towns have separate organizations for their athletic associations that necessarily don't have a contract nailing some things down. They came up with a list of items that came over to our attorneys to put it in contractual form. We just went over some things in executive, some changes we wanted to make. Katrina's going to put those changes in, send it back to the council. They'll look at it again on the January meeting. If they're good with what's in there, they're going to send it back to the LAA, who's going to look at it, see if they're happy with it, and then once the LAA is in the position to sign a contract as a nonprofit, they'll be executing that contract to have an official agreement between the 2 entities.
Okay. So do we need a motion to do
I think we
that?
need-
No, I
no,
don't think so,
we're
right?
good.
No, okay. Resolution number 15-150, approve payment for clothing allowance to qualified township volunteer firemen who attended and answered at least 40% of the fire duty in 2015, and that's in the amount of $175 each.
Motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Discussion.
We just implemented this last year. This is the first year we're doing this. We had 8 who made it. I wanted to say thank you to those 8 for putting in the amount of time, and hopefully this will encourage more people to make more calls.
Yes.
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. Number 4, authorize township attorney to prepare a developers agreement for Stag GI New Jersey LLC on behalf of Berry Plastics, Block 99, Lot 2, with regard to an application before the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
This is the matter that Mr. Peck is here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Paul has.
Yeah.
Paul, what are your comments?
I know a member of the public had asked for some background on this project. There's an application before the zoning board at this time for this project. The property owner is looking to expand an existing industrial facility on that site by about 150,000 square feet. There's also extensive site improvements that are proposed as part of the project. The application is going to be, or I should say the hearing on this application is going to continue on January 13th. The applicant would like to start getting their work done as soon as they possibly can. There's a very tight time schedule, as their attorney said before, and they've requested that they be allowed to start work without a permit that's needed for some of the off-track improvement work. And this is the sewer work on the project. It was my suggestion that we have a developer's agreement put together to indicate how that's going to work. This is not something that is uncommon. I've seen this at other municipalities, but there needs to be an agreement to really stipulate what, how this would take place. And, and also indicate that the applicant will be accepting some risk in moving forward. We would not be accepting the risk, the applicant would. And there would be no CO issued until the permit is issued for this off-track work and the work is ultimately completed. So that all needs to be spelled out. So the applicant, as indicated before, again, is anxious to get this agreement in place so that they could start the work once they get their approvals and meet some of the other conditions that are going to be set forth by the board in the approval.
Paul, do we know what, do they have any idea what they're using the 150,000 square feet for?
It's an expansion of their manufacturing operation on the site, which is the Berry Plastics use.
Okay.
It's very substantial. The current building size on the site is about 87,000 square feet. So they're, building an addition that's almost twice the size of the existing space. It's very substantial. So it's going to be if approved by the board, it's going to be a very substantial rateable for the township.
Is it going back or towards the solar panels,
It's paralleling the rear property line and going southward toward the solar panel site.
Okay.
And just so council's aware, what you're being asked tonight is just to authorize me to work on the developer's agreement. You're not authorizing the developer's agreement.
Right.
So I will finish it,
Yeah.
bring it back,
Okay.
and you will still have the opportunity to review it and approve it and make changes to it. So
Okay.
you're not asking to
Yep.
sign the developer's agreement because you haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
Because you haven't authorized me to work on it yet.
Exactly.
Okay, motion to authorize the township attorney to prepare the developer's agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Any further comments?
No.
All right, roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Peck. Okay, approve payment to Morris County Co-op for $1,100 for 2016 membership.
Motion.
Motion,
Second.
second, no, any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Approve services for deer carcass removal by Space Farm Zoo and Museum at the rate of $40 per deer carcass. for the year
Motion.
2016. Second,
Second.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler? Mayor McKay?
Yes. Resolution number 15151 to reappoint the Bud Insurance Agency as risk management consultant. All right, does anyone have to recuse themselves on this issue?
Which one, Bud?
Does anyone does business with them? I don't know.
No.
No? Okay. Okay, motion.
Motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, as you know, Bud Agency was our agency for this year. They have done a great job, and they've found some holes that we needed to make sure we're adding on to our policy. And we were renewed for next year. Obviously, we're going to have an increase.
About $17,000.
$17,000 increase.
Yeah.
Total
Yeah.
on liability and workers' comp?
Yeah, across the board.
So,
We're going to save 17?
No.
No.
Increase.
Increase.
Good luck.
Oh, dear. Okay,
There
all
are other bids we can,
right, so what, we had a second, right? Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Yes. Authorize Mayor McKay to execute risk management consultant agreement required by the municipal insurer for 2016.
Motion.
second.
Second, discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
And
Yes. Grant hardship waiver to New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency to sell income-eligible home known as 20 Overlook Drive, Stewartsville, New Jersey. Affordability and deed restrictions shall remain on subject property.
So you explain that?
This is a COA unit, right?
Yeah, it's co-unit, the township utilizes one of their co-unit. You've received a letter from the Housing and Mortgage Finance Authority, who are the people who oversee that. They're the housing affordability service that administers these units. The letter that they sent you basically says that they have marketed this unit at the income levels that it requires. They have been unable to find someone who meets that income level and still has good enough credit and a down payment to buy a house or wants to buy this house. So what the owner is required to do under their deed restriction is to go through them and to come to you. So the municipality has three options. It can buy the unit itself, otherwise you would lose it for $59,000. You can find someone who's income eligible to put into this unit, or you can waive the right for this unit to go to someone who may not meet. So for example, if this is a low income, they will try to put a moderate income eligible person into it. All the deed restrictions still apply. It's still your COA unit. When the person sells it, the same restrictions still apply to them. They can only sell, they can make 5%, or you and I can sell for whatever the market will bear. And they have to find someone on the list when they sell it. So it's just a one-time exemption. This is the second time you've been asked to do this. And a lot of municipalities are being asked to do this, but you're not losing any COA unit. And this is coming from the people who administer, they're the authority in Trenton that does this. So they're asking you, so.
Okay.
Motion.
Thank you for that explanation. If we have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay? Yes. Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
And yes.
Yes. All right, resolution number 15152 to appoint Valentine DeSanto provisionally as plumber pending civil service procedures. Is this plumbing inspector?
This is plumbing inspector, plumbing subcode official.
Thanks.
Our previous plumber has resigned his position, and John Fritz is recommending Mr. DeSanto, who will have to go through the civil service procedures. So we'll have a provisional appointment.
Is there a way to let council know when somebody resigns, like the plumber? Because I had no idea until I got the agenda that this guy,
Yeah.
that our
Absolutely.
current has resigned.
Yeah, I didn't get too much notice myself.
Okay,
But yes.
thank you.
Okay,
Do we have a,
Motion to appoint provisional.
yeah,
Motion.
that's what, all right, you got a motion. Who's got the second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
yes,
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
And
Yes.
yes.
All right, we have one other thing that I guess we could add. There's a second list here. Excuse me, I'm going to my other agenda.
We have 11, 12, 13, 14.
All right. Resolution 15153, authorizing the transfer of appropriations of the 2015 Lopatcong Township municipal budget during the last 2 months of the year as per NJSA 40A:4-58 in the amount of $218,884.04. Motion?
motion,
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
yes,
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
And yes.
Yes. All right. Number 12, approve the payment of $625 to Warren County Soil Conservation District for permit for Phillipsburg High School roadway improvement project. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay? Yes. Councilwoman Schneider?
yes,
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
And yes.
Yes. Number 13, approve membership to Delaware Park Engine Company for Kira Hendricks, as recommended by Fire Chief Piscotto. Right? All right.
Motion.
A second, please.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Approve Mayor McKay execute grant agreement documents for South Warren Municipal Alliance for the 2016-17 grant years. Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay? Yes. Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Also, number 15, which isn't on your copy, is to appoint the municipal judge to be William Menon, who is presently serving as municipal judge. He was appointed by the judiciary when Judge Brown moved up to the Superior Court. He's been here for some time, satisfactory performance, and so I'm going to recommend him or appoint him for a 3-year term, which would end in 18.
Motion.
Second?
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes.
Next thing, to we discuss on our executive agenda, item number 4. Did Katrina talk about that?
No, she didn't do that.
Should we just say that we have the town site?
Okay, yeah, we're going to sell the fire truck and the panel truck to Oxford Township for, what was it? $4,500?
500.
Wait.
5,500.
Brian.
Oh.
4,500.
Hold on.
45.
Brian, can you come
What
up?
are you saying? Can't hear you.
The road department decided we'd like to keep the panel truck after, well, it's just the way it is. After we get some downtime, we decided to put some time into it. Because it's gas, I don't have to have the state come in with DEP and all that stuff. All right, so we're setting it up as our barricade truck to carry out barricades and disasters or whatever it goes. So please take that off the thing and just sell the fire truck. All right.
That would be the fire truck for 3,500.
I'm glad you're keeping that truck, because I like that
Are
truck.
they going to agree to that?
That truck's a
But you still
little,
have to send them the thing.
Yeah, we have to send, yeah.
Just to be clear, whichever they decide to sell or what they decide to sell it for, you have to do by ordinance,
Right.
which requires first and second reading. You
Mhm.
can't do first reading in
That'll be
2015 and
next year.
second reading in 2016. So it will be on the agenda for first reading in January. The reason it's being discussed tonight is so Oxford knows that we discussed it, that there's a consensus, so because we wanted to let them know sooner rather than later. Also, there's some discussion about where to store it. In the meantime, I'm going to reach out to them and let them know what the ground rules are if someone needs to store it somewhere.
Do you need to make a motion to authorize you to do that, or?
Yeah, you can make a, just
Make a
authorize
motion.
me to
Okay.
reach out to Oxford Fire
Okay.
Company.
motion to authorize Katrina to reach out to Oxford on the trucks. We got a first, we got a second. Any further comment? No, roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Okay, moving right along to council reports. Lori, would you like to start council reports tonight?
Great, for recreation. The next event we have is our Eats and Beats, which is a sampling of food from restaurants in the region, along with, we're gonna have a DJ with some music. We're set for, it's at Delaware Park Fire Station. It's on January 24th. It's a Sunday from 5 to 9. We'll be putting out information on the cost of that very shortly. Snow date is 1/31 from 5 to 9. 3 of us our terms are expiring on the Recreation Committee, but all 3 of us have committed to finishing up this event. And just need to get approval to apply for the liquor license. The fire department is asking us to apply for the liquor license. If I can, I'll make a motion. A second.
Second.
Any discussion on the liquor license?
It's a social affairs.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Roll call.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes.
Animal control. Dog licenses are due 1/30. There's a $2 late fee for each month you are late per dog. Summons will be issued in June of 2016, so please pay your licenses before that. You can pay them now if you want, but we're not open again until the new year, so don't worry about it. As far as Shade Tree, we have 1 member, Matt. Unfortunately, another member resigned, so we need at least 2 more so they can have quorum to meet. I think at this point, the matter that was put before them needs to come back to council. So I don't know if you guys want to deal with that in the new year, because I don't know if you're going to have quorum and how long it's going to take them to get up and running.
The matter that we've been speaking about
Mhm,
back and forth?
yeah.
Okay.
Because they did review it and look into it, but they had no quorum at the meeting to vote.
Was there any feedback at all from?
No, not really.
Nothing. Okay.
As far as the LEA, we just talked about that, and Maureen will go more into what's going on with the LEA, but the contract changes will be reviewed again by council at 1/6 and then sent on to the fire truck judge. I don't know if we need to make a motion to have that letter sent to all committee members.
You probably should.
Okay, I want to make a motion. We just need to, want to send a reminder letter to all members of committees on our social media policy.
Yeah, second.
Any discussion? No? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
I forget what meeting it was. In light of the investigation, we had transferred the reporting of the clerk administrator to myself as council president. You're going to have about 6 days where you don't have a council president because I'm not going to be on council anymore. So I'd like to make a motion to pass that to Maureen until you appoint a council president at your next meeting, so there's no gap.
Motion. Second. No gaps.
Roll call.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Abstain.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Abstain.
I just ask that when you go into your meeting on 1/6 and when you appoint a council president, that you once again transfer that. Yes. That's it for my report. Just again, I gave my thank you at the last meeting. I thanked a lot of people. A lot of those people are in this room. A lot of people who supported me. Those that didn't, I hope maybe one day you can look back and actually realize that I did do the job I was elected to do. It is important to note that everybody, you got to come up here and you got to do your best job, and you have to look at all the facts, do your research, vote your conscience. It's actually a criminal offense to use your position to injure people, and I just want everybody to keep that in mind. Go forward, do the right thing for your township. It has, all in all, been wonderful. And I have to give a shout out to my son who just walked in, because he was by far the most supporting member of my family through all this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Maureen?
I just have very short. We talked about the LAA contract already, so I'm not going to repeat that, but we're working on it. As you all know, they're going to file papers to become a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So I think that'll benefit the children. It'll benefit the township. It's all good. And we'll work on this contract next year and get it signed and get them on their way. Other than that, I do want to say thank you to Lori Chesler. I know we did this already, but it is your official last meeting. So thank you for all your work.
Yeah.
For putting up with everything. And we do appreciate, and you all do know you worked hard on your position. That's it.
Lou?
I just have one thing. Brian, this is referring to you. This is to the gate on the 57 pump station. I spoke to Dan Madden a couple of days ago and discussed that why we had to move the gate to the outside, and he agreed to it. So it will be done. It's going to come with a cost, and I don't have the cost to move the gate to the outside because the contract has been fulfilled. The gate was put up and put up properly. Because no direction was ever given that the gate should be installed on the outside, so they did it to the inside. So they fulfilled their obligation. So now there will be a fee to move the gate to the outside. When I find out the price, I will advise the council.
Okay, that should come out of the sewer.
Yes, anything related to, right, to the pump
Right, it won't
station.
come out of your general budget.
It won't come out of your general budget, it will come out of the sewer, correct.
Go ahead. Come on.
One more thing we need to address.
Another one?
Doesn't have to do with the fence. There's a small hose hydrant down there, all right? You know, you get your regular firefighting hydrants, then you got another one that has like a 1 inch, inch and a half hose off it, okay, real small, all right?
This is not 57.
Yeah, Morse Heights 57.
Okay.
All right, it's not active, and they can't wash anything down. Bob and Ray both called me on that.
When you say it's not active, you can't, there's no.
Well, whatever's going on with Aqua, I don't know where to step with. You want me to step there? But there's no pressure behind that right now.
There's no water coming out.
There's no water coming out. All right, I had mentioned it to Dan, but I haven't got any feedback. So if they need water for whatever reason to wash something down, cool something down, whatever, you know what I mean, they use it for, it's just not active anymore for whatever reason. So it's something we need to address and, you know, get up and running. And I just found it out myself, Lou, so.
I mean, I'll speak to Dan again.
Yeah.
Find out what's going on with that. If it was tested, I don't know.
Right,
I would assume that everything is tested before it's turned over.
right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. Oh, I just want to say,
Anything?
Laurie, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You did an outstanding job. And, you know, I know everybody appreciates what you've done. I recognize it. And, you know, you're awesome.
Thank you, Lou.
But I mean, you did a lot of work, a ton of work. There's no denying the fact. And I know you did your best for the interest of this town and always to follow by the rule of law. I know that. Thank you.
You too. Thank you, Lou.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Just a couple things. Leaves are done. We have no more leaves to fall, so the guys have completed the leaf pickup. I hope everyone has found that all the leaves have been picked up and their streets have been cleaned. And if anything else is other than that, then please let me know. But they've done a great job. They always do a great job. And now with some extra help in there, you know, it's making their job a little bit easier. We're getting ready for snow. Hopefully we won't have any, but let's see how that goes. The guys have been working on all of the equipment. They've got it all ready to go. So let's just hope that it just sits there. Brian and the DPW, they ordered 2 new mowers. They saved up some money from their own budget and they purchased well-needed mowers. So the ones that we had, I say it all the time as a joke, but they should be in the Warren County Fair in that little stretch where all the old fire trucks are because they're so old. They look like they should be antiques. But
And I just want to add to that, we did order one for the pool also.
you ordered the one for the pool also. So that makes it even better. Yeah, so we have 3 mowers in total, new mowers. So that should hopefully make their jobs a little bit easier and a lot safer than the one that they were driving. And other than that, I don't have anything. Good luck, Lori. And that's it.
Do you have any finance committee reports?
Um,
Either one?
We can. I don't have all the numbers because I don't have them from Christine yet. But from what she's telling me, it looks like our budget has, with all the transfers, we have not gone over our budget. Although we do have some unfortunate news from the sewer bill that came in from Phillipsburg was astronomically high. We have the mayor and Lou, I believe, have reached out to them because something is not kosher there. So we're going to try and get that worked out because it doesn't seem like it should be, right, Lou?
Right. I mean, I just want to add to that, yes, that there was one of the readings in the sewer was doubled. So there is, Dan Manning is confident that it's the meter problem because it doesn't justify it all of a sudden double in waste. So there'll be investigation from Dan Manning and also Chapman. And as soon as I get that report, we will update. Okay?
Yep. Do you have any idea
You have
on
a question,
that?
Brian?
I just got told today, I talked to her, but Greenwich is also actually double also. So you might want to look at it from a whole perspective.
We're aware of that.
Yeah, we're going to, it will be investigated.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pass it on.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, our agreement with them requires that we pay whatever they bill us and then work it out later. If not, we get an 18% surcharge. But the council has to decide now, and I'm going to ask them to decide, is whether or not we should make a partial payment, which is in line with what the payment really should be if the flow meters were working properly. And we would use historical data to get that number. And that would keep us within our annual budget. I think it's $1 million budget we have. So we could do that, but then we risk paying 18% if they try to come after us. So it's that kind of a conundrum. Yeah. They said there's a new mayor coming in there. I spoke to the CFO over there, and he said, well, you know, I got one mayor that might say okay to that, but I don't know about the new one. And he goes, I really would have to go to the mayor, and he'd have to take it to council, you know, for him to like approve that kind of transaction officially. So if the council here wants to take that approach, then we would pay them, say, $250,000 instead of the $400,000 they billed us roughly, and which is in line with what the payments ordinarily are. There's only one meter that seems out of sync, and it's only since we put in the new pump station. It goes back to September, and the number of gallons has doubled. So, I mean, you're talking from 6 million gallons to like 12, 13 million gallons. And it doesn't make any sense. We didn't put anything new online that would be increasing that kind of flow. So I'm sure it'll get worked out. I've talked to the sewer engineer, and he's indicated that, yeah, we know something's wrong there. And then we put him in touch with Madden, our sewer guy, and they're talking, I guess. So when it gets to that kind of technicality, I'm not the one to talk about it. But Mr. Pryor could probably talk to that. You know, so we're lucky to have him around. So it's up to you, council folks, what you want to do. Do you want to pay them the $400,000 as they build us?
Well, I'll put a motion on the floor just to pay the normal billing.
agree.
And then we'll work at the investigation is through. And if it shows that we owe, then we'll pay the balance, but I doubt it.
Okay, but then remember, I'm going to tell you the off side of doing that, our bad side of doing that might be that they hit us with a fine, which is in their interlocal agreement with us that they can do that. And we're required by the interlocal agreement to pay us bill.
No, and I understand that. And I think that the Phillipsburg mayor and council have common sense to see that, you know, to double something is out of line. I think they would understand that. I would. So.
The
Yes.
fine is based on the full bill or what's remained after we pay what we
So
pay.
can we pay partial? Is there
You
anything
say
in the
we're gonna pay
contract?
I don't know if I understand what it means, but. Okay, it says payments which are received 30 days after they are due, even though the payment it's due now. Yeah. Even though the payment may be in dispute, will be charged an interest rate of 18% per annum or the highest amount permitted by law on that portion of the bill which shall not be in dispute.
So you have 30 days. You have another, I
But
mean,
it
you
says-
can pay partial now, and if you get to the 6th, are you still within the 30 days? Because you have another meeting on the 6th, hopefully by then, somebody, at least you can talk to Mayor Ellis and see if he's willing
Well,
to
I was.
investigate that
But
and not charge you.
They may have a meeting on the first, right?
I don't know when they're supposed to, no.
Well,
Usually
you know,
that's
if that's the way they want to go and charge us the 18%, so we have to pay them $400,000, then having said that, on the same side of the coin, we're going to charge them interest rate when we're entitled to get paid back the $150,000.
Well, it's not in our interlocal agreement.
Well, let's put it in.
Well, we can't. We'd have to revise the agreement. Okay. That's up to the original.
I say we take the chance.
I think because it's so outrageous that it doubled, it's very, very likely that it is it's a false rating. And I think we could go to their sewer people, if we could have someone go over there and ask them to see the actual flow numbers, which they can, I think, produce, correct? Joe, most of that? Yeah.
You can come up.
Come on
Yeah,
up, Joe.
up.
No one's asking me. This is the first time seeing this.
I'm pretty familiar with that bill, and I won't bother to go into all the details, but most of it's estimated anyway. And it's out of whack. my suggestion from the peanut gallery here would be to pay them the normal amount, plus you have a $35,000 pilot payment that's due the first quarter. So whatever your normal is, 250, whatever, you have to add 35 to that. And then the other will be worked out. I think there's actually a mistake on the bill, and then they have some missing data, which we have. It'll be worked out, but I wouldn't pay that outrageous amount. I'd give them a normal payment in the pilot. And there's also provisions in the contract about how you deal with missing data and so on. So it's not just the 18%. So in the past, we've always been able to work this out with Harry. That'd be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because when, do we know when the bill was actually due? Like, what was the due date?
The 28th.
Oh, so you have 30 days from the 28th. So you will definitely have another move
Yeah.
then too. So if you pay partial now and if you realize it was correct, you can
Yeah,
get the rest.
let's do partial.
I'm open to any suggestion. I like that way, but and I just want the attorney to say that's okay. They won't do anything horrible to us, like shut up the sewer.
Okay, now we're asking you, Katrina.
Well, I haven't reviewed the whole agreement, but I think we would know if it said the agreement, they could shut off the sewer.
I'm sure they can, but they can't.
Well, and the language in here is, like I said, I'm only reading the piece you highlighted and just handed it to me. It says, will be charged an interest rate of 18% or the highest amount permitted in law on the portion of the bill
Right.
which shall not be in dispute. So if it's in
Right.
dispute, then maybe they can, I
They
could
can
make an
charge it
argument
off.
that they can charge us 18%. I'm sure there's somewhere else in here that says they can. But
I'm sure they put it in there.
as long as you know, the worst thing, you know, that,
Yeah.
that if it's read the way we originally thought, is that they could charge you 18% on this. As long as you know that's the
Sure.
risk you're taking.
Mhm.
Well, their CFO reminded me that when I spoke to them. That's what you would have to pursue.
Well, the way he reads the agreement and the way a judge will read the agreement are not
Yes,
necessarily.
exactly.
I think we found that on this exact agreement before. but-
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Everyone
so
has
obvious that there's a doubling in just one pump station. Just for the last 3 months, right, after we put in the new pumps.
And
Anyhow.
my recommendation is to reach out to the new mayor in Phillipsburg, explain to him what you did, why you did it, and you did it in good faith,
Mhm.
and
In the new year, I'd be able to do that.
Can we send a letter with our payment stating such?
Okay, then we're gonna have to get Christine to come back in and cut us a new check.
Should be in for Saturday.
Right,
Mhm.
so we'll get the check and we'll bring it over to, I'll bring it over if I have to.
Do we have any idea what type of surplus we're gonna have? Have the revenues been cleared?
I don't have any of that yet from her. When I come in on Saturday, I'll get all that from her.
We know we're under the, if we do this, we'll come in under the budget a little bit. You know, so we were able to buy several trucks and 3 lawnmowers and a few other things that we didn't anticipate, so, not too bad. Okay. Then I'm gonna propose that we go to bills, since we're on this matter.
So you have a council report, then we have engineer.
Yeah, let's go to the engineer. Let me see.
Do you have a council report?
My council report was the sewer matter. That was my matter of concern right now.
Do you have any update on the high school?
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Sure.
You need a motion to make the minimum payment, you want to add the pilot
Please.
in lieu of taxes.
Right.
Okay, so
Okay.
I need a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, and then I'll roll call. Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesney?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, what was your question about the new high school? Well, the last meeting I went to, I was told that because of the wonderful weather we've been having, the warm weather, they're ahead of schedule on high school. They've been able to pour concrete and put down macadam parking lots in December, which was, not anticipated. So they're doing real well. We still have the issue of building the intersection, and that's just an ongoing thing. And it's there's some people that have to give up a little bit of land or let us use their land during the construction process, and I believe that's all being worked on. There's a meeting coming up, I think, on the 7th for for that matter, with all parties involved, so we'll know more then. But it seems to be moving along. Okay, Paul?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just had two items to report to you and the public. As you may recall, earlier this year, we had adopted an ordinance to implement a multi-way stop at the intersection of Baltimore Street and North First Street. Due to the proximity of that intersection to Route 22, we were required to submit all our paperwork and our studies to the DOT. And it's taken some time, but I'm here to indicate to you the DOT didn't feel that stop sign on North First Street would be an impact to the highway. And so we're free now to install the multi-way stop. And I did communicate with Brian at this point. We've talked about it. So once he gets the materials, I'll meet with him and we'll lay out where the stop signs will go on North First Street at this point, so we can implement the four-way stop and get it in place.
Very good. A lot of townsfolk will be glad you did that. There's a lot of complaints about that intersection.
And then just a second thing, and this has to do with the roadway improvements that are needed to support the new Phillipsburg High School. Our plans are essentially done for that particular project. There are a lot of loose ends that need to be cleared up over the next 3 weeks. Have to do with permitting and approvals for the most part. We were at the county engineer's office today. We're trying to get the county engineer's office to approve the plans and to get a freeholder resolution, which will pave the way for us to go out to bid. The date that we would like to have the advertisement for public bid in the paper is January 20th, and we're looking to open the bids on February 11th. We have a very aggressive schedule because we need to get these improvements in and approved before the opening of the high school, which is going to be next September. So hopefully have all the work done by the middle of August, including the new traffic signal at this point. So anyway, things are going well on that. There was one thing that came to light today at the county meeting. The county wants to see the signal have a preemption built into it due to the fact that we have the hospital close by, and also due to the fact that we want to have a preemption for our rescue squad, fire department, and police department. So we are going to have to modify the signal design to allow for that. And there is going to have to be some outreach to the police chief here in Lopatcong as well as in Phillipsburg. So I'm going to be beginning that process in the morning. I have to talk to our Chief Marinelli to get his input on that. We're going to quickly make those modifications and get them into the county engineer's office so we can get the county sign off on the package that we would like to go out and bid on January 20th. So that's where we're at. We moved very quickly after we got your authorization about 35 days ago, and you know, we're in a good spot right now at this point. We have to tie up some loose ends, as I mentioned to you.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve the department reports.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Let's see. Payment of bills. Okay. I have here several bill lists, which got modified by what we just did. So, okay, we have a bill list for that aggregates $264,688.97 without payment to Phillipsburg. What did we say? We propose to pay them $250,000?
Well, the
Plus the
minimum
35.
payment is normally around 200,000.
So it's the minimum.
Yeah, well, let me see.
I'm going to look,
Mayor,
I'm guessing.
Well,
Didn't you already do a motion on that?
I think we did. So
Yeah,
that's
you
cut.
can leave
All
that
right.
off.
So we'll leave it off. All right, so then we'll just go with the total of $264,688.97. Motion.
Motion.
Approved. Second.
To pay, second.
Roll call that, Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe? Yes. Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Motion to open the floor to audience participation.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Alchowski? What?
First, I would like to congratulate you guys. Lead this budget in many, many years, thanks to you, mainly, so smile a little bit. We are on the budget, end of year. Well done. Very good. Fire truck, 5,500. I think that thing is more worth scrap metal. I'm surprised. With that said, with all the fire trucks and buying fire trucks, maybe Mr. Bucara at one point in time, and I don't want to be a jerk about it, but we have 2 fire departments. Do we need 2?
The township is 7 square miles. So, in the past, there was discussion to have 1 department centrally located. Now you're talking about putting another building up.
I mean, there should be data, and again, I just don't know, but there should be data supporting that, how many times the department has been out, and if there are overlaps. I mean, maintaining 2, now I know a fire engine costs $500,000, I didn't know before. And maintaining all this equipment, and does our town really do need 2 fire departments? And you are the expert?
I believe so.
You do?
Yeah, I mean,
2 fire departments or 2 fire companies?
2 fire companies. You have company number 1, Delaware Park, and then Station 2 on Strikers Road.
It's based on location.
Again, the township is 7 square miles.
There are statistical data.
So we're not able to put them somewhere in the middle?
You'd have to build a new
Mr.
building.
Mangucci made a suggestion like that one time, and that up by where the ambulance squad buildings would have been
Yeah.
an ideal location.
It would be centrally located, it would cost, now you have to put up another building.
But the problem
It comes
is
with a
we're going to
cost.
abandon 2.
So if that building would save us another $500,000 in the future for another
Well, you already have 2 buildings that's already paid for.
engines? Again, I just don't know, it's just
Right.
something
On Monday.
I thought about. All right?
Go volunteer as a fireman, they'll give you all the data.
Excuse me?
Go volunteer as a fireman, they'll give you all the data. They'll tell you
Too
how it
old
goes.
for being a fireman.
Well, you can still be a police.
I look great in a fireman's hat, probably. Thank you, Don. The rock.
Mr. Steinhardt.
I'm sorry.
I had a comment and 2 questions. The comments directed to Council President Chesler, because I did not have I was not able to make your regular December meeting. But as a resident, I wanted to thank her for her service to our community. I think during her time here, she has done so honorably and with integrity. I had the privilege of serving with her for my last 2 and her first 2 years. And during that time, I can say unequivocally that she made me a better mayor and a better man. And I know that when she leaves in a little more than 24 hours, I hope she will do so proudly, confident that our community is a better place for her service. So, thank you. My 2 questions, I guess, for you, Mayor. Item 11, I was hoping you could elaborate on the $218,000. What's that being used for? And lastly, whether you can confirm whether or not the township overpaid the school district by some $300,000, and if so, if we did, what steps are being taken or how we're going to recoup that money?
Okay. 218,000 as a schedule. Do you have the schedule?
There you have a
Everybody
resolution
has
in your
one.
packet.
Is it
There
in-
are transfers from line items to line items that you're allowed to.
I didn't see it in the packet. Did somebody else? Someone have it? Or maybe I have it.
We didn't get it until tonight.
You know,
If we
it's the
did,
way these things always
here.
look. There's
I didn't get it.
20 accounts that things are coming out of and 20 accounts that they're going into. I mean, do you want a picture of it? We can-
I'm curious about your approval. I didn't want to-
An extra copy of
No, that's on every year. You always did that. Yeah, okay.
So we did transfers this year as we always did.
Yeah, we did transfers. I mean, there was some big ones. The legal budget was way out of whack but you know, it's just,
Just like always, we had to do transfers. Okay.
employee group insurance.
thank you.
My second question sort of relates to the, is it true that we overpaid the school board over $300,000?
I believe it is. I believe it was, I don't know the amount, but it was, I do not.
It was a typo, we believe, in
Do you know exactly how much we overpaid?
$67,000 a month from the start of the new budget. There was, it was supposed to be $1,600,000 So, yeah, it was 67, yeah, it was supposed to be 1,118,537 and change, and instead what was input was 1,180,537.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yes, the temporary CFO caught it.
They caught it, and we just shorted the last payment to balance it.
They should have, yes.
Well, we didn't have that information.
Should they review it?
Yeah, we found it, thanks to the temporary CFO. So we found it thanks to the temporary CFO, and we were just about to issue the payment, so we were able to just short the other payment. And the school on their end, they had the correct number in their general ledger. They just hadn't balanced yet to their account. They would have found it if we didn't, but the money would have been out the door, so. Yes, it would have been short, yes.
Is that you?
Evening, Rob Larson, 26 Browning Court. First and foremost, I wanted to thank you for your time served, Councilwoman Chesla. It's been a pleasure to have you up there. As a friend and resident, you will be missed.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Secondly, I wanted to congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, for your infinite wisdom in appointing Mr. Bill Menon to that position. He's a very knowledgeable individual. He did a fantastic job for inter-county paving, and I really think he's going to serve the community well. Thank you, sir. Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year.
Okay. Any more?
Carlos.
Carlos, hey Carlos.
Carlos Correa, 82 Pudding Way. I just like to mention that there is a double standard here. In the past, when somebody came here to public comments and we asked a question, that question was never answered by the council. No questions were able to be answered. Now we see an ex-mayor come here, ask a question, and very happily you answer his questions.
Answer Peter's question too.
Yeah, we answered Peter's too.
But in the past, when somebody else has come here and asked questions, you said this is only comments and you guys don't answer any questions whatsoever. I can go back to the videotapes from the past meetings.
I recommend to council that they don't answer public comments.
But we do
because it's
anyway.
Public comments, but they do anyway. But tonight you saw they answered everyone's
But what makes it different tonight
comment.
to any other night?
Council can do whatever they want.
But how come you didn't recommend it not to answer the questions? That's the question that I'm asking. Huh?
I've recommended it and they can do what they want.
But here you never said don't answer any questions.
I almost did at one point. I mean, they wrapped it up.
No, I'm just saying to like, try don't, I mean, in the future, I hope that you answer the questions to all the residents.
I think I've always tried to answer your questions, and it is my last meeting. And Mr. Steinhardt was mayor here for 15 years, and we answered everybody's questions. Like you said, it's the holidays. Let's try to have some good cheer amongst each other. I think.
No, I'm just trying to mention that in the past, questions have not been answered. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's a double standard here. It's a double standard, you know. Just because he was mayor doesn't give him a right that he has to have an answer.
No,
like,
but I
no
think I
problem.
had it 10 times. I did
You know?
answer, and I answered him again.
Excuse me?
After serving as mayor for as many years as he did, at least we could do is owe him the respect of giving an answer. And there is not a double standard here. We have answered several questions throughout our meetings. So you're incorrect.
And some of the questions that have been posed to us have been not exactly even a question. A lot of times it's innuendos or accusations, and some of those we don't answer. But other times if you come up with a legitimate question, we have always answered you. In my 3 years here, I know I have always answered you.
Well, as a matter of fact, your questions are being answered right now.
Yeah, but we always wait for public comment, you know. He came up over here when there was no public comment, and then boom, it was answered. So I'm just saying to
Mayor
myself,
could have asked him to sit down, but he didn't.
you know, I'm just saying, all of you guys, if it was anybody else, you told him sit down.
Yeah,
You know?
I've always answered. And the only thing I can say is that,
you're
again, like, I served under him for 2 years, and he does deserve that respect.
Oh,
regardless of
sure,
what you think.
you know, the same thing, I deserve the respect also.
You do, and I have
You
given it to
know?
you.
So,
I've
you
given
know,
it to you here.
and
I
I
gave it
don't
to
think
you
that you have
council.
respectfully treated me.
I think
You
you
know?
have.
As Lou pointed
Yes.
out, we're answering your questions. Do you have any further questions for us?
For you.
We'll answer them.
For us. If we have the answers, we will provide them.
Like
No,
you said,
thank you.
accusations and innuendos.
I'm not doing accusations, I was just trying to make up a point that I feel, that's the way I'm feeling, I'm just giving my opinion. It is my opinion, and I'm allowed to give my opinion,
Yes, you are. That's why
You
we
know,
have public comment.
so-
Thank you for your comments.
so that's all I'm saying, Thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yvonne Ridemeyer, 27 Browning Court. It's been a while since we first talked about the fire truck. What was the original offer?
It was 1,000 for the utility van
Okay.
and 5,000 for the truck. And that was over a year ago, so it was 6 total.
Okay. I couldn't remember if the truck was included in that
Yeah, it
amount.
was
Okay.
the 2, and
So
then
they came back with pretty much the same.
what had happened when they went to look out for a new truck, they did their due diligence and found somebody to buy the old truck because they knew they didn't have a place to store it, but unfortunately, we rescinded that ordinance at the beginning of the year to try to sell it online.
Right.
It didn't work, so it's been outside for a year, and they
Okay.
felt the value decreased.
Okay, so they dropped, but they didn't drop it much. They dropped it just.
No, 1,500, yeah. Mhm. So the truck now they all made an offer of 3,500 for the fire truck.
Okay, so 35 for just the fire truck.
Just for the fire truck, yeah. And still 1,000 for the utility van, but apparently
But we're gonna
Brian wants to keep it.
We're gonna keep that. Okay. Okay. Well, and to echo everyone else's sentiments, thank you, Lori,
Thank you.
for your years of service.
Thank you. Thank you for your support
Definitely
and everything.
appreciate it. So,
Thank you.
good night.
Brian?
Brian Weeks, 208 South 7th Street. I try to show respect to every one of you council members, everybody that's here, and I will show respect to Lori to say thank you very much for everything you've done. I appreciate all your help. I appreciate the calls during the storms, calls after the storms.
I'll still call you.
Making things, doing whatever for all the time you put in. And again, enjoy, and thanks for doing your best and everything you've done for us. The other thing I came up for is my department, Donna, it affects you guys. Paul, we went out and got a permit to store the leaves, and you're able to grandfather in as long as the winter's real bad. Well, the winter's not bad. So I don't know how you make your budget, but I get a 12th of it somewhere in there, but I also got to survive through the winter. I'm estimating somewhere around $8,000 to $9,000 to rid of leaves. I've got 3 quotes. Everybody's changing their mentality a little bit. They won't truck them out anymore. I have one guy to truck them out for, I think it was $4 and, don't hold me exactly, but it's $4.25, I believe it was, but it's definitely $4. Everybody else wants $10 for me to bring them there. All right, so we're going to go with River's Edge, but the money has to be there. I have to move them in the next week or 2. So whatever you got to do to make that happen. If not, we're going to end up with a fine for leaving them sit there, all right, and creating too much rot in it, leaves roll down. So remember that when you're making my budget up a little bit in the beginning of the month here, all right, that I've got to survive plus that money also. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Brian.
Lori, I'd like to say thank you for your years of service. I enjoyed every minute of speaking with you pretty much daily and, solving and a lot of issues, and I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, Beth. You don't deserve
I'm
what you've
sure
been going
most
through.
of the employees will miss you also.
Thank you. I wanted to bring luncheon too for you in the new year, so I'll give you a call. Thank you. You guys all have done a very good job. The backbone that runs this town, all the employees here. All the politics and the circus and going, all these people keep it going. Those are the people who do it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Close public comment.
I'll close public comment.
I want to say one more thing. Happy New Year to everybody and your families.
Now that public comment is closed, I'd like to make one more comment. Mr. Larson, with your inter-county paving comment and the snickers and chuckles I saw in the back of the room about it, you think it's funny. It just goes to show you and to show everyone here the interconnectedness that inter-county paving has within this town, within this county. And the one reason why I don't want them here, neither does most of the community. So thank you. No, that's it. Public comments closed. No, public comments closed. Public comments closed. I'll ask you to be removed. Public comments is closed.
Point of order. Can we adjourn the meeting? Enough.
Motion
Public
to
comments
adjourn.
closed.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn motion.
Second.
Mike, can you please ask the gentleman, the meeting is closed?
We haven't seconded yet.
Second, please.
Please second.
Did you just second it?
No,
All in
nobody.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.